Today we're going to talk about modifying a sand filter for your koi pond. So I want to cover a question that I get asked quite a bit, frequently by some do-it-yourselfers and or someone who's looking to save some money on the filtration system for a koi pond that they might be building. And the question is, I have a sand filter and I want to modify it for the koi pond. Can you tell me what media that I should use inside the sand filter? But I want to pause the button right there for a second because it takes more than just changing the media out. See, the problem with using sand in a sand filter for a koi pond is the sand traps the solids very well, number one, and in a pond you have a lot of particulate as opposed to a swimming pool, because the sand filter was built for a swimming pool technology brought into the koi pond. So the sand is too fine, and so it traps a lot of solids and it needs to be backwashed a lot. I will tell you that I've seen sand filters on koi ponds because they did it for a long time, 25, 30 years ago, and the sand gets clogged up, and sometimes the homeowners out there every single day doing a backwash on their filter. And I'm telling you, that's just too much. It's too much work, and I don't want people to think that koi pond is a lot of work. So the new filtration systems, the new biomechanical filters, the new bead filters for external filters that look like sand filters. They might look the same, but they're very different. The insides are different, and it starts with the laterals. It starts all right here. So in a sand filter on a swimming pool, they want to take out fine particulate. And if you'll look closely on here, it just has these little tiny slots. I mean, I don't even think I could fit a dime in there. Little tiny slots, and this is one that was used for a koi pond that they had to go ahead and clean 3-4 times a week. They were backwashing, but the particulate gets stuck in here. Algae gets stuck in here. It's not a sterile system with the chlorine killing everything. So these laterals get jammed up very quick. Here's a lateral from a bead filter, and if you'll notice, these pieces in here are quite a bit bigger, and I could definitely fit a dime in here, possibly even a penny. So it really begins here. So let me go back to sand filters when they were doing this. Typically they're having a high RPM pump that's running the sand filter because you have to have a lot of power to push through the sand. The flip side of that, in the new technology, when you're using a bead filter, typically we're using a low speed pump with media that can move very easily. Sometimes it's a floating media, sometimes it's a sinking media, but it's not very heavy. So a low RPM pump can spin it and turn it around. So this is kind of where a lot of the problems come from using sand filters and pool technology. The problem is if you have a sand filter and you want to put it on your koi pond, you're going to have to buy a high RPM pump, and it's going to cost you a lot of money to run every month because electricity to run that pump costs a lot of money. So you're kind of trying to save money, but you're spending more in the long run. So it really is going to do you better if you just get a new technology, a koi pond filter built by koi pond people for koi ponds, not a swimming pool filter for koi ponds. So that's how it kind of all spins around. I've had a lot of people tell me that, well, I've changed it. I put, this K1 media in there. I've put this floating honeycomb media in there. I filled it with bio balls. I put lava rock in there. I've heard all the different stories. And I'm just telling you, they all require more maintenance than they should have. And as I said, I have people that are backwashing their filters with sand filter laterals in there, minimum twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. So if you took this, so I know a lot of you do-it-yourselfers, weekend warriors, like thinking, maybe what if I cut out every other one in there and take the time to cut that out because I have a lot of time and not a lot of money. It might work for you, but I'm just telling you, it probably won't in the long run. Let's look at some other technology for you besides the bead filter. Let's look at doing some extra side jobs on the weekend to generate some money so you don't have to deal with this pain. Because in the long run, if you get it and you put it in there and it requires a lot of maintenance, then what's going to happen is you're going to say, hey, koi ponds are a lot of work, and I want to make sure that you don't do that. So I hope that gives you some advice on my theories behind using sand filters. Don't do it. And if you're going to modify it, you're going to have to be kind of tricky on that. I know some of you guys are going to tell me you've modified it and worked great, but if you're backwashing more than once a week, it's not that great, okay? I'm going to end this episode with a question of the day. Tell me about the filtration that you're using on your pond. Do you have a bead filter? Do you have a sand filter? Or do you have a different type of filter? I would really like to know about it. Until next time, I'm Eric Triplett, the Pond Digger, and if you want me to answer your question on the show, you know how to do it. Hashtag Ask the Pond Digger. Put it on the social media platforms, and I'll do my very best to answer it right here on the show. Thanks for watching.